Hello, humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. Two men defined by taking L's. And not just any L's. These are huge L's in life. They're the kind of L's that feel like these guys just got over, bent over, grabbed the ankles, and that L was wrapped in a pineapple and went right in there with no Vaseline. Career-ending L's, if you will, because they will never be seen the same way again. Now, I'm not into this thing where, people get destroyed on the internet and what have you, and they never come back, especially when it's people that give you things to talk about. If you think about it, one of the greatest things on the internet that people laugh about, for example, is DSP. And this dude, he has no shame. It doesn't matter what happens to him. He's still there every day giving us hours and hours of entertainment, right? And some of these people are entertaining, but if they go away, then the entertainment's gone. You got nothing to talk about. And a lot of people are clamoring for the return of the Completionist. And not all of them with good intentions, I must say. A lot of them want them back just so they can make fun of them. God knows when I was covering that, I got a lot of views. Just covering all the nonsense that was going on. And he's good for business, I guess, for a lot of YouTube business, for bigger YouTubers, not for me specifically, but for big YouTubers, that gives them something to talk about, something for us to watch and enjoy. But if the guy's gone, then that entertainment is gone, right? It's always something to see, watching people struggle, trying to make it back. Some people cheer for them, some don't. And then you see what people do. If they are able to come back from these huge losses, you never know. But should Carl Jobs be the one ending the Completionist? A lot of people are saying that what Carl Jobs did is worse than what Jirard did. I don't know. I guess the crime is accusation is in the eye of the beholder, but there's a huge difference. Jirard never got charged with anything. He never lost a court case, and none of that. It was all speculation. And as I told you before, the Moon Channel actually, before he took down his video, made a lot of great points on why the research that Carl Jobs has done was kind of sloppy and didn't hold much weight in court. He eventually took it down because of the harassment and stuff like that. But in retrospect, he was right. Right? All this time, this guy hasn't been charged with anything. Now, should he try to come back the way he came back, where he's trying to make videos like nothing happened and just say, I need to regain your trust? No. That's not what I want to see. That's not what people in general want to see. You know what would be a good way for him coming back, right? That would garner attention and people would pay attention, stuff like that, and even get people on his side? It would be, right, if he really wants to revive his career, it would be to go ahead and go through the threat that he made of legal action and document that. Because there's no way he's losing that one. If Carl is smart, he would settle. If I was in his position after taking the biggest L in my life, I wouldn't be looking to go back to court, right? And can you just imagine the grueling process of having Carl Jobs having to record a video, make an apology, do an interview with you? He could rake them through the coals. He really could, because what is Jobs going to do? He ain't got no money for this. He certainly doesn't have the money that Jirard and his family has. No way. Right? If he, as I told you before, if Jirard shows up there with lawyers and does the whole thing, Carl Jobs basically has to get on his knees and just ask, where should I blow? Just tell me what to do, because I can't afford to lose any more cases. Because if Billy had a grievance, right? Remember, Billy, one of the reasons he won is because he was able to show losses. This is something that people forget, right? Billy had receipts of people canceling on him because of what Carl Jobs did. There is irrefutable evidence that Carl Jobs destroyed this man's career with his expose, whatever he did, right? And he did it himself by, agreeing to that interview. But I think the way the lawyers are going to go are exactly the way the Moon Channel said, because he is a lawyer, right? Forget about what I think. The Moon Channel is a lawyer, and he said exactly where he believes the lines were crossed, what allegations were unfounded, what statements were dubious. I don't want to say anything beyond that because I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not Carl Jobs. I pretend that I know the law better than anybody else, right? But this is what a lawyer said on camera. So you pretty much have the case laid out. Now, if he was going to go through that exercise, can you believe? I mean, just imagine the amount of coverage that would have. Absolutely, it would have a ton of coverage. And people would follow it, definitely, right? And the best part here is if you get an extra delusional Carl saying, no, I'm going to fight this. Now, that would be the best possible outcome, right? We have two of the guys with the biggest L's taking on each other in court. And it's just self-destruction and again, entertainment. But I believe if he was to do that, right, he would garner plenty of attention doing that, right? And people would watch him. Now, is it the kind of content? You'd probably have to start another channel, right? I don't know if he's going to put it in the Completionist channel, but he could be, doing some other form of entertainment. He's an entertainer. He went to college for that, got a worthless degree, according to his dad. Dad wanted him to be an engineer. Wouldn't that have been a good idea, right? In retrospect, you would have something to fall back on. But here we are now. People are asking for this guy to have another chance based on the fact that the man that exposed him and pretty much ended his career did something in their eyes that is much worse than what he was being accused of. Because at the end of the day, I think many people, right, and I'm just going to tell you my own personal beliefs. I think that he wasn't running the thing. I think if family started the foundation, they were running it. He's not a numbers guy. I don't believe so, guys. I think he's the pitch man. I think he's the one they put out front. And he didn't know what the hell was going on. He just wanted to be in video games. He just wanted to talk about video games. He wanted to do the fun stuff. The numbers that were being run by his family, his brother, his dad, whoever. And he couldn't throw him under the bus, right? And that's where he got caught, where the only defense he had was, turning on his family. So, what do you guys think? Should the Completionist come back? Should he take on Carl Jobs? How would you like to see him back? Now, personally, I want to see everybody back because I want to see what they do. Right? I want to see the narcissistic behavior when they do terrible things and they try to justify them. I think that's the best of the best. My dogs are going crazy. I think that's the best of the best. But you guys tell me. Guys, I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.